$5 Games presents The Beast Inside. The game begins with a couple moving to their peaceful ancestors' residence up in the mountains. No, wait, this is a horror game. The game begins with a woman pleading for her life from the perspective of a crazy stalking murderer, with plenty of foreshadowing of the game's events because we're going to hop back in time by a week right before anything happens. Although, for whatever reason, I have a hunch that she's not actually real, because it's pretty scary to be an insane person hallucinating sane things and having to do insane things in order to prove that you are insane and that the same things aren't actually real. Anyways, back to the couple moving to their new home. Oh look, it's the lady who was tied to the chair at the beginning. Well, at least we know she'll live for a week, so we don't need to worry about anything happening to her. Upon arriving, I did the... I get really into games. So when it's a horror game and I know scary things are going to happen, I just want to delay those things as much as possible, combined with being as prepared as possible. So I explored the entire area, which is actually decently sized, and found a collapsed mine, some architecture that could be for a swing set or a voodoo ritual, and the protagonist reasoning to himself that there's no point going past an invisible wall, which I get. There has to be some boundaries in place in order to tell the story. Otherwise, reviewers like myself would be following this road for the next hour. Anyways, the protagonist helps his wife unpack and look around the house. Upon finding a hidden keepsake box, he opens it to find a journal of a resident of the estate from a long time ago. It then flashes back to that time period where the spooks get real spooky. So you're playing as this other deuteragonist now, and he had a traumatic past of being cooped up in an asylum or something for a really long time. But he is now declared sane and is free to live on his own. He went to his father's estate, who he despises, this place, and here we find out that he's still not sane. He's hallucinating things. Although it does appear that maybe not everything abnormal happening around him is actually a hallucination. And so the plot moves forward, switching between these two characters. And obviously I'm leaving it open so that you, my dear viewer, can experience it for yourself. It has nothing to do with me being so scared that I refuse to play the game any further. Anyways, gameplay wise, it's a first-person horror puzzle game. There's a difficulty option at the start, but I can't say what the difference between the options really are. Although there is eventually a gun, from my understanding it's still used more in a puzzly way than an action adventure. There is a little bit of resource management where you have a limited amount of oil and matches to light candles, but it's mostly 3D object manipulation where you get the internal thoughts of the character as you spin the object around, being extra spooky for the crazy guy. Still, the main focus here is the horror and the story. So if you want engaging gameplay, you'll want a different game. Personally, I got incredibly scared right here where my heart basically stopped, and when they told me to go into the basement, I stared at the floor the entire time. Well, I just love getting into games, but it does come at the expense of some harsh judgments on myself. But that's okay. Anyways, that's a wrap. Consider picking up the game if you have good health and don't mind shortening your lifespan a bit.